Holly Meredith show. I hope everything's going well for you today. This is the Memorial Day show. Memorial Day used to be called Decoration Day, if you didn't know that, and it still means the same thing. All it's really about is not your hamburgers and hot dogs and your ice cold beer, although that's a great part of it. I'm not taking away from that. It is a family day. It's usually a long weekend, and that's a wonderful thing where you get to spend time with people that you love and you don't have to go to work, which is wonderful. But it's really meant to remember all the people who have died, literally died, so that you can have your hamburger and your hot dog. This is important. It's important for you to realize that. We didn't just wake up one day in America and have all these freedoms that are rapidly being filtered away, but we didn't just wake up one day and have them. We woke up because we were born in blood and carnage. George Washington and his men fought a long, arduous, bloody, difficult war with a lot of pain and sorrow to create the magnificent America that we have. And since that day that we became a nation, other men have fought and died a long and arduous battle to keep us here. We are the only country in the world that has been formed from an idea. The idea of freedom. And the reason it's so important is if you bother to turn around and look at what's going on in the world, if you pay any attention at all, you will see that we are the only country in the world where everyone else is trying to beat a path to become a citizen here. Everybody else in the world wants to come here, including countries like England, France, Germany, Poland, Hong Kong, China. If you're not aware of it now, the biggest amount of people entering our country legally and illegally are the Chinese. Not the Mexicans, not the South Americans, not the Africans, the Chinese. The Chinese coming from mainland China hate their life because they have no freedoms. They are controlled and conscripted, and their entire life story is written for them before they're ever born. Of course they want to come here. Rapidly as our freedoms are being dissolved, and they are, unless we do something about it, which we can, we have more innate freedoms than anyone else, anywhere. Our Bill of Rights, our Second Amendment, the biggest one, our First Amendment, which is under constant attack by your government, is because we have the right to say whatever we want to say. That's why political correctness is so much bullshit. In our country, the First Amendment allows you to have a diverse, disparate opinion. Everybody doesn't have to agree with you. That is the beauty of being an American. If you want to say, you know, I don't like what you're wearing today, I think you look kind of stupid. Hey, okay. All that really means is maybe you're a gross, not particularly kind individual, but it doesn't mean that people should pelt you with tomatoes. We have a right to our opinion. We have a right to state it. Just because it isn't what the government wants you to say doesn't mean it's hate speech. Memorial Day is important for you to understand because of that. There is an ongoing, never-ending discussion about the 600,000 plus men who died during the Civil War. And I will say it again, and I will say it a million times more. All of those men fought for what they believed in. It may not be what you believe in. It may not be what the other side believed in. But all of them, North and South, Union and Confederate, all of them fought for what they believed in, and they believed in it enough to die for it. Is there anything you believe in enough to die for? Somehow I think not. So before everybody starts castigating the people who want to go to their very old cemeteries and put flowers on the graves of their ancestors who may have been a Confederate soldier, and which I think is a wonderful thing to do, before you start castigating them and saying, oh, how terrible, oh, how racial, oh, it shouldn't be allowed, oh, the flag of the Confederacy shouldn't be flown, All of those people died, not just the Union soldiers. And I don't happen to agree with the Union side anyway. But all of those people died so that they all deserve respect. They deserve your respect. You don't have to agree with them. You don't even have to like them. But they are part of the fabric of our country. Their blood leaked into the soil from which our food is grown. So whether you want to believe it or not, maybe that corn on the cob that you're putting on your grill today may have had some kind of fertilizer from a Confederate soldier. Their blood bled, just like the Union soldiers' blood bled. Their families were torn apart. Our country was ripped apart. We went through the worst possible thing a country can suffer. We turned upon ourselves. And whether you believe in the reason, which by the way is not the reason you're always told, it was never about slavery, never. The Civil War was always about power and money. The same thing that runs our government today, power and money. If you believe for 1/2 second that the federal government cares if you have food on your table tonight, you're truly delusional. The only thing that our government cares about today is just the same thing it cared about 150 years ago. Power and money, nothing else. So if you can wake up in the morning and understand that on Memorial Day you owe it to the people who have died so that you can get up and have a wonderful day, go to a parade, go to a ball game, have a backside barbecue with your family and friends. You can do all of the things that you want to do, living in the freest, proudest, most wonderful country ever, created by people willing to die for that idea. Then you understand what Memorial Day is really all about. Going to my break.
Hello and welcome to New York Nails and Skin Salon, located on beautiful Linton Boulevard in downtown Delray Beach. This salon is open 7 days a week. Yes, 7 days. If you need the finest skincare and the finest manicures and pedicures that you can get, you want to call Linda at 561-274-7470. I want to say it to you one more time, 7 days a week. The finest skincare and nail care that you can get. Give her a call. Once again, it's New York Nails and the number is 561-274-7470.
Hello, welcome back to the Holly Meredith Show, and on the note upon which I just left. Memorial Day and all the freedoms that make America the greatest, no matter what nonsense you get told. We are the #1 place to be. Everybody wants to be here. And just because we are fortunate enough to have that in our country, let me remind you again of what is going on everywhere else. In Greece, poor beautiful Greece, home of Leonidas, home of the Spartans, home of some of the original democratic people in Athens, beautiful place to go, used to be one of the #1 tourist attractions in the world before it became a member of the EU. Yes, once it became a member of the EU, it was over. Because the EU controls the banks. The banks control Greece. So poor Greece staggers along, trying to figure out a way to pay its bills, which are impossible to pay because of the usurious rates charged them by the central bankers from the EU. And that's all over the world, including here. It's called the Federal Reserve here, but they're all the same group. And in Greece, coming up in about 3 weeks, they're kicking them all the hell out of their country. They are going to have a bankruptcy. Have a cheer, get the Cristal champagne. Because they're going to stick it to the Shylocks for a change. They are not going to pay. And what can the EU do about it? Nothing. They can do nothing. The Greeks are going to get their drachma back. It's their own kind of currency. And the English are going to keep their pound. And the Scots are going to get theirs back. And they're all going to kick the EU out and become the own country they used to be when they had some pride and self-respect, even though none of them are allowed to have guns, by the way. They don't have the Second Amendment. So they're still under the thumb of their governments. But they are getting ready to pitch those governments. Good for Greece, because Greece finally stood up and said, hey, what the hell? #1 tourist place in the world? No longer, because they don't even pick up the garbage in Greece anymore. Because they're all unionized. Because they're all controlled by. Because they have to accept thousands of migrants from Africa, whether they want them or not. Because the EU says they have to. Because the EU says there are no borders. And why do you think that takes place? Because it's all good for the bankers. If you have more and more people coming into a country and coming out of a country that's desperately poor, allowing the bankers to put other people into the desperately poor countries and start that whole revolting cycle all over again, which put everybody in a problem to begin with, who benefits? Why, the central bankers do. Not Greece, not England, not Scotland, not France, not Baluchistan, not the Ukraine, just the central bankers. And maybe Germany, because Germany has actually won the war. Hitler actually won. He may be dead a long time, and he didn't win with his guns, but he won because Germany controls the EU. Germany makes the rules. If Angela Merkel says it's going to happen, it's going to happen, or it's not going to happen at all. So when you see where everybody in the EU is, and poor Greece is staggering under thousands of people who don't speak their language, who have absolutely nothing, not a pot to piss in, who don't want to learn to become Greeks. Oh my God, no, why would you do that? I'm only coming to your country. Why on earth would I want to learn your language and try to be a Greek citizen? Why? I don't want to do that. I want to be exactly what I was before I came here, when I was a piss poor idiot who knew nothing about anything and want you to take care of me forever while I keep dropping out baby after baby, year after year. That goes on all over the world. And Greece has finally said, no freaking more. Just like Iceland said, just like Greenland said. And you know what? Since Iceland and Greenland said that, they are doing just fine, better than ever. So here's to Greece. If I had some ouzo or strega, which are two of their favorite liquors, which I've had both of them and they're wonderful. If I had some ouzo or strega, I would tip my glass to them because they finally found their balls. They found them. They've been on a long, lonely search for them, but they found them. Thank you, Leonidas. Now I'm getting ready to go to my break. Holly Meredith, come back.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ray Flo. This is my storage, Lake Worth Storage. We've been here, I guess, about 8 years. It's been great. Love Florida. Love the storage business. I was meant for this business. Come with me. Let's go inside. And here's the fantastic staff. Mr. Josh runs it. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
And the quiet one, look here, Marge. So there you go. All right, so, well, there is a lot to run in the storage. There is no silver bullet to make it successful. We've been very successful. So you got to have a few things, you know. You got to have, of course, the price has got to be right. You got to have a nice staff, congenial people. We have that. Place has to be clean. We have that. And we have to treat people with dignity and very nicely, and we do that. So we've got, you know, the price, the staff. We've been here a long time. We've got a good record. Above all, though, it really should be secure. And we have very little problems with that here. We're very secure. We've got 14 cameras there and some more here. So yeah, we're set for the public. We're set up. Excellent.
Hi, welcome to Muscle Beach, located on 501 East Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach. We'd like you to join us for some of the finest, hand-picked, shipped daily Prince Edward Island mussels, along with the freshest seafood Delray has to offer.
Welcome back to the Holly Meredith Show. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of the unfortunate circumstances in our country at the moment, involving race riots, which we are involved in, involving horrific crimes that take place every single day in our country, about which you hear practically nothing, about people in charge of cities that have become garbage cans. I mean, actual cities in our magnificent, beautiful country that have become garbage cans in spite of getting millions of dollars every year in federal money to improve the cities. Baltimore, Maryland leaps to mind immediately. You know, we had a riot there last week. Baltimore, Maryland leaps to mind because our police are under attack. And our police are under attack all over the country. All over the country. Our police get checked on every single thing they do, and usually they're doing a good job. Now, am I saying that every policeman ever known to man hasn't done something wrong? Of course not. But am I saying that most of these people that get held up to ridicule, lose their jobs, have to move because their lives are under constant threat, have done only their job trying to protect you from those people on the other line who would harm you? That's all they're doing when they get up in the morning. They don't even get paid that much. They're putting their lives on the line for you. I love the police. I know you may not like that, and too bad. I get a ticket, it's usually because I deserved it. I know when I'm speeding. I know when I'm not wearing my seatbelt. I know if I was going to attack somebody and beat the living crap out of them like I feel like doing 55 times a day. I know if that was to happen, I'm going to get arrested. So we all know where we're supposed to be. We know you're not supposed to break into somebody's house. We know you certainly aren't supposed to bludgeon to death a 10-year-old child. We know you're not supposed to torture people and then throw gasoline on them and set fire to them. And that just happened in Washington, D.C. last week. A Greek family, unfortunately, living about 2 blocks away from Vice President Biden in an exclusive area in Washington, D.C., where there are no bus stops. None. You have to have a vehicle. So this guy, I won't even say his name because you can see his ugly face all over the place. And he is black, and they were white, and that does happen a lot. What this guy and 2 supposedly friends of his did was break into this man's house, hold them captive overnight, torture them, duct tape their mouths, duct tape them to chairs. They kept the 10-year-old child in a room by himself and did unbelievable things to him. You'll never know everything because they'll never release the report, but what we know is gruesome. What we know is bad enough, where they cut little pieces of him up all over the place and then pounded his head to paste, a 10-year-old. And then set fire, as I said, to all of them just because they were in the middle of eating their pizza. They ordered pizza from Domino's. They don't even have class in the ordering of their pizza. Jesus, at least get Papa John's. Bottom line, this, whatever you want to call it, is guilty of a heinous crime. Look up heinous, H-E-I-N-O-U-S. There aren't that many crimes that are heinous. This is one of them. This creature, and I use the word advisedly, is a 34-year-old black man with a rap sheet about 55 pages long. 4 assault, 4 robbery, pick something. Drugs, I don't care what you want to pick. He's been bad since he was born, probably. This person is under arrest at last, but that won't do anything to help the families. That family is obliterated. And can you imagine the terror, the pain, the horror of being the parents of your 10-year-old child, having this freak show take place in front of you when all you have done is been a successful person in your life and look after your family and try to be a productive member of your community, and this is your reward? I think you need to take a long look at what is going on in our country right now. I think you need to say thank you every time you see a policeman. I think you need to look again at what goes on in our country. We get told day in and day out that our penal system is unjust, that there are too many young black men in jail. Well, gee, maybe they should commit the crimes not like this man, who should have been in jail. And maybe had he been in jail, this lovely family would still be alive to celebrate Memorial Day. But they're not. I could give you list after list and day after day and city after city, and Oakland, California is another one, and Cleveland, Ohio is another one, and Philadelphia is on the way, and Chicago, hey, they only had 14 murders this weekend, only 14. It's a slow weekend in Chicago. So I'm saying to you again, Memorial Day in America, 2015. We have a country that the rest of the world is envious of. We have it all. Don't give it up. We have more money. We have better men. We have the world's greatest military. We have people who are healthy till they're 104 freaking years old and still golfing. So think about all of those things when you bite into that drippy with ketchup and mustard hamburger. Think about all of those things and say to yourself when you get up in the morning, I refuse. I will not allow. I will not tolerate. I am not going to put up with one more minute of bullshit about my magnificent America. We are the best. Celebrate Memorial Day like you should.
Hi, I'm Maria of My Clean Home Services. Been in business for 5 years now. I specialize in residential and I also do commercial. If you need any references, I can provide that for you upon request. You can give me a call at 954-520-4282 if you have any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful day.